Disclaimer, we'd like to note before the start of this interview that the opinions about to be expressed by the guest on tonight's Gettin Salty Experience podcast are that of the guest and do not directly or necessarily reflect the views of the host of the Gettin Salty Experience podcast.
You're listening to the Gettin Salty Experience podcast.
Hello! Does anybody? What are we hearing? What's
Hello!
Minus Coobs.
I can't do that. I can't do it.
No.
Welcome.
Yes, welcome.
Gettin Salty Experience podcast. It's one of two that bring the firehouse kitchen table to you.
Yes, that's for sure.
We want to welcome Kenny D to the house.
Kenny D here. He's here.
Wait,
Let me.
let me.
I was going to give him.
One clap. I got one.
There you go. I'll give you the girls. The panty droppers. Panties are still going. They got another 3 seconds. But you can't shut them off once they get going.
I had to bring Kenny on. He undercut us a couple of weeks ago, so I had to bring him back on.
Oh, hey, man.
Now it's ding, 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 ding.
You guys got them lined up. I do one at a time. Take my time. I apologize.
I did watch. I was in the airport the other day, and I watched. I'm not saying I was getting a little, a little verklempt, but did a nice job from what I saw.
Thank you. I appreciate it. She made it easy. Yeah, totally. Yeah, for sure. This is gonna be a good one.
Yeah, for sure.
Gonna be a good one.
Well, I spoke with her when we had her daughter on, when we had Kat on. And when she was saying she was, back then she was saying she was doing the book. So I said, listen, when you come on, we're going to promote the hell out of that too. So, excited for that. Excited for her.
For sure.
I was excited that the first question was, where's that guy that we tried to feed shots to on the boat? First thing I was like, that's behind the scenes.
It worked out
guy.
well for her. He's at FDIC.
Yeah.
Yeah,
FDIC.
So go ahead.
No, I actually lost my train of thought of what the heck I was going to say. So forgive me.
That. Well, that'll segue right into my story.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So we were down in Queens on the weekend. So we came home this morning, and I had got gas when we drove down. And I took my daughter's car. My youngest, she's in college. So every once in a while, I like to use the car because she doesn't have the car there, just to get the the juices flowing, so it's not sitting all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So this morning we get up early to beat the traffic out of the city so we could come up, and so we get in the car. And we're driving, and we just had our coffee with us. And I looked at the dash. Now, again, I could see pretty good far. Close is really tough. But I could see the numbers, but I can't see actually all the little, stuff around it. You know what I mean? So as I'm driving, I tell my wife, I'm like, I look at this number, and I says, oh, babe, we got it. I see we got the Waze on. It says 64 miles to the house. Barely. I could see the MI next to the 64. Then I see on her dash at the bottom a little number. It says 64. So I'm like, baby, we're going to stop for gas because, we could probably get into Jersey. We could get up quite a ways, get over the bridge, and then we'll get gas. She's like, oh, all right. So we're driving, and I look at the number. I see where we're at. We're like 40 miles. And I look at this number, and now it says 65. And I'm like, oh, maybe.
What are we going in reverse?
She gets good mileage, or maybe the thing wasn't just, sometimes those things are a little quirky, right? You don't know where they are. They skip like 5-10 miles at a time. So I'm like, oh, maybe it didn't read it right the first time. So now we're driving a little bit more, and I look down, and we got like 22 miles. I just happened to look at, and now the thing is at 67. And I tell my wife, I'm like, holy shit, her mileage is going up. And my wife looks over at me. My wife looks over at me, and she looks over at the thing, and she's like, you got 284 miles to empty, you knucklehead. That's the temperature. The temperature's going up, you jackass. So I'm like,
oh, is it getting hot in here?
it's like, what the hell is going on? Like, how am I
losing?
How
it,
did
dude.
I turn into this guy? I don't even know how I'm turning into this guy. I was like sharp as a tack. Now I'm like, when my wife is giving it to me, I got nothing, man. I'm fumbling. Yeah. I'm like,
I was waiting for the story. I was waiting for the.
I mean, you are wearing a jacket inside, so you must be getting old.
Well, that has to do with the other part of getting old. I have like a pinched nerve in my neck that I have a heating pad on. I'm a mess, man. I am a physical, mental, emotional wreck.
But
somebody get this man a hot toddy.
Oh, he wasn't a mess for this.
I was mushroom hunting too last week. Oh my God. Yeah.
I could think I got a picture of him holding his group here. This is what he picked up from his home in Iowa.
Oh my God, so funny. Yeah. So the guy I met, just quick guy I met out there, him and his wife, a couple of, couples that we met out there. He's crazy with the mushrooms. I have no idea. I'm from the city. He's like, dude, you know about morel mushrooms? I'm like, no. He's like, bro, they're like $50 a pound. They're got to be all over your property. I'm like, I have no idea. We get out there 45 minutes into the thing. We haven't found a thing. I'm like, bro, let's wrap it up. I got shit to do. 2 minutes later, we found, I don't even know, gobs of them. And they're really good. I wish they were the other, the magic mushroom. Yeah. Wolfgang. Yeah, absolutely. I wish they were the good mushrooms. As
did you like paint your face like camouflage and stuff to scare the mushrooms?
I wore a camo. Yeah.
You fucking nerd.
That's what Kenny said. You nerd.
Nerd.
So you got to go mushroom hunting.
If you want mushrooms, go to my friend Captain Shrooms.
I'm in. With the way I'm feeling, I'm in.
Oh, forget about it.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
All right. So let's run our two. We'll get this young lady in here. Let's run our two commercials and we'll be set.
All right. Sounds good. We're going to listen to Armor Tough first, and then we'll roll right into Dragon Eddie. All right, guys? Here we go.
When it comes to firehouses, the floors take a beating. Boots, waters, tools, apparatus traffic, it just never stops. That's why departments like the Gloucester City, New Jersey Fire Department and so many others trust Armor Tough flooring and tile. From the hallways to the training rooms to the apparatus bays, Armor Tough delivers a clean, professional finish built to handle the daily grind of the job. Durable, seamless, and designed specifically for high-demand public safety environments, this isn't just flooring, it's infrastructure you can count on. And it doesn't stop at the floor. Take a look at the Grove's gear racks, built with integrated security features to protect turnout gear, personal equipment, and department assets. Secure storage, smart design, and built to last, because your gear deserves the same protection you provide to your community. If your department is ready to upgrade its space from the bay floor to the gear room, reach out to Armor Tough Flooring and Tile, built for the fire service, built to last.
All right, get on over to the website. Check him out.
Armor Tough.
Armor Tough. All right, we're going to roll right into Mr. Dragon Eddie.
When an elevator emergency happens, being prepared matters, and the people trapped inside are counting on you. At Dragon Rescue Management, we specialize in elevator emergency management training, built for fire departments, first responders, and safety teams who refuse to leave preparedness to chance. Our elevator industry experienced and seasoned fire service instructors bring decades of real-world elevator rescue knowledge, teaching cutting-edge proven rescue procedures and passenger release techniques that put safety first every time. And we don't just teach it, we equip you for it with professional patented-grade elevator rescue kits, polling tools, and unexpected movement kits designed for performance under pressure. DRM also provides custom elevator door training aids that allows you to practice the skill set from our training in the comfort and safety of your firehouse. Don't wait for the next stalled occupied elevator call to test your crew. Get trained, get equipped, and be ready. Set yourself up today at dragonrescue.com because readiness isn't optional.
All right. Thanks to our friends over at Dragon Rescue. All right. Well, I'm ready if you're ready. Whenever you're ready.
I'm ready.
Ready? Oh, yeah. We'll start. All right.
To the show, the lovely Eileen Bellew.
Welcome. All right.
Hello.
Good to see you again.
I'm having deja vu here. I don't know what it is.
For sure.
I can't believe you undercut me like that. I can't believe you did it. I can't believe it.
Hey, What do you want me to
Hey,
do?
listen, you gotta do. You gotta do what you gotta do.
I didn't know. I didn't know.
I
I
didn't
didn't know.
know.
I didn't know.
Your guys didn't tell my guys. I know how it works.
I'm my guy, so I.
All right, let's hit the pledge first, and then we'll get started.
We'll get going. All right, here we go.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen.
A little toot. There we go. All right.
All right, so we're gonna get started. As Coobs always says, we're gonna go.
We're gonna go
Not
back.
so,
way
not
back.
so far, but not way back. Not that.
No,
far
wait.
back.
All right. We'll
A little
go
bit back. A little.
just
back.
enough back. Just enough.
Just a little back. Eileen, where did you grow up? What? How was your family life growing up?
I grew up in Pearl River, New York, with a lot of other firemen and police. That's a typical in our community. I was one of 5. My dad was a Con Ed worker. My mom was a nurse, and lived in the same Cape Cod house that we just sold it last. My mom passed 2 years ago. We just sold it.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Mm.
Brothers and sisters?
I have 3 sisters and 1 brother. 2 of my sisters have already passed.
Oh my goodness.
I know. Depressing way to start.
Anyway,
What?
is everybody cutting onions?
Yeah, not yet. So you went to all these schools. You went there. Where did you go to school?
Yep. I went to Pearl River High School, and then I played at Dominican College basketball. So my dad died when I was 16. My mom had to go back to work at night because the money differential for nighttime nurses were a little bit more. So she had to go to work at night. And then I didn't really want to go away to college. So Dominican is right by my college, and they offered me a scholarship to play basketball. So I got my school paid for and became a teacher, science teacher. And I actually got a job in the middle school, Pearl River Middle School. So I worked there when I met John.
That's similar to my. So my dad passed away when I was 9, and my mom was working all sorts of jobs. We were talking about that too, and I ended up going to Baruch College, which was, I didn't go away to college. Both of my kids have gone away to school.
Right.
I have no idea how it works. Like what to do, who to call, how to the applications, any of that. I had no idea about any of that stuff. Did you go away, Kenny, to school?
No, yeah, I went to UCLA, University on the corner of Lenox Avenue. Up in Harlem.
I was waiting for the buzz.
I'm like, holy shit, man! That guy.
No, I was in the Navy. I didn't go to college. My parents couldn't afford college. I was like, I'm done with school. So I followed my footsteps as a family in the Navy. I went into the Navy and eventually, got on the fire department, which was the plan. So yeah.
Well, at least you guys did it. I'm still in school. I'm in my last class right now, getting my bachelor's degree. Never too late, people.
What are you studying now? Marine biology? What's going on?
Oh, fire administration, so I can get promoted in a year and a half.
How boring is that, honestly, when you're studying that?
Me? Are you talking to me?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's easier because it's all online. I mean, you have to be disciplined, obviously, in self-study, which, I read some of it, but yes, exactly. There's some times where ChatGPT has helped me out a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I struggle, but we all throw that in there, and there's a lot of that goes on these days, so I don't want to hear it. I could sound like a professor when I type.
Eileen, did you coach any basketball in middle school or anything like that?
No, I did not. My second husband, big basketball star. He was the leading scorer of West Point basketball.
Really?
And he coaches JV in Pearl River, JV basketball. And nice. he coached some of my boys, like in AAU, So I did not do any of the coaching though.
Oh, okay. I thought since you played in college, you might get into that.
No, I thought John and I did so Brielle started T-ball and we were her coach. in T-ball, and that was like the plan that I was going to do coaching and stuff. But then once John passed, Abriel was 6. The next year, I couldn't do it because the other 3 are running around, you know.
Yeah.
So I left it to more capable people than myself.
Did the kids do any sports continuing on since then? Or?
Yeah. My daughter Brielle is actually, the boys won't admit this, but she was a phenomenal gymnast and cheerleader, and we went all around the United States and did cheerleading, like at a level 5. And her was in sick shape. And then my boys did, I wouldn't let them do football. I did let them do football, Pop Warner. And then I told them if they ever get hit, they are to move their extremities on the field so that I know that they're not, you know.
Yeah.
Give a little wink or wiggle.
Exactly. And then one day, Jack got rocked, and like he's 7 or 8, and he doesn't move. And all the parents are like, who is that? What number is that? I'm like, I know who it is, because I only watch my kid. I don't actually watch the game. I watch the, you know. And I'm like, no, that's my kid. And he got up and he was fine. But that was our last year of football.
Wrap it up.
Yeah. It must have taken everything for you not to run on the field.
I think I did. I'm
you
pretty sure.
did.
Well, I ran on the field. Then I let Kieran play flag football, and we were playing against a team that apparently wasn't told that you don't tackle. And Kieran was the quarterback, and they tackled him. And I ran on the field and yelled at the coach. I'm like, did you not tell them what the rules are? And then I got a lot of like looks on the way to, they're like, that's her. And I'm like,
oh, now you labeled yourself.
oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
that is me. And Kieran didn't even make it to Pop Warner. Didn't even let him play Pop Warner. And they're both big kids. Kieran's really like, so they were always asking. And like one of the things that is so sad for my kids is they had to explain. They're like, no, my mother, they're like, oh, I'll talk to your mom. They're like, believe me, you're not talking to her and convincing her. So we stuck to basketball and baseball. And then Jack did some lacrosse and tennis and And then Katriana read all day long.
Nice.
Nerd.
Without being disrespectful. Nerd.
I'm gonna hit her with that.
Well, she's listening.
Yeah. So yeah, let's get to the next. Where and when did you meet John?
So John, he lived in Howard Beach, was a Rockaway lifeguard for like 9 years or so. He was pumped when he could buy back his years, like when that came back.
I thought you meant like jacked.
That's
no,
I was gonna say pump. Like, ooh, I lift weights.
Yeah. Larry, let's say that he was jacked. And he went to Manhattan College. He actually swam. So he swam for Malloy, and then he swam first he went to Marist, and then I think he found out that was dry campus, and then he moved to Manhattan, and he swam from Manhattan for the rest of his time there. And he
Kat is listening, and she's not a nerd. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. So then he went to Manhattan, and then he got they got beach houses down in Manasquan, and I went down one day, one weekend, crashed at my sister's because my sister had a beach house, or rented, like they rented. Beach houses.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go into John's house. It was disgusting. Like I wouldn't,
How old were you guys at that time?
I was 23. And I like it was when you would step in and the foot would stay on. Yes. So I refused to go into his house.
Kind of thing?
Yeah. So we ended up talking outside. We met at the Brielle Yacht Club, and it was $20 all you can drink. And I thought, oh, he's so cute. And his friend kept giving him, I thought, seltzers. I found out it was gin and tonics. And I was like, oh, he's so cute. And he's so comfortable in his skin because he's just drinking seltzers. And then I later found out they were just, yeah.
Hammered. Didn't even know his name was John.
Smooth talk you are.
Oh, you are you.
Oh, you smooth talk to you.
So, yeah. So then we met, like we ended up talking that whole entire night. And then for like 2-3 weeks straight. And then he actually asked me to marry him like after 2 weeks. And I said, yes.
Wow.
Not
No
like,
way.
yeah, not officially. Not like where he got down, but he said like, oh, what are you doing in 2 years from now? And I said, nothing. And he's like, would you want to marry me? And I said, yes.
Wow.
And then we named our first daughter Brielle after the Brielle Yacht Club.
I was just going to ask that. You beat me
Yeah.
right to it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And we tell her, like, thank God it wasn't the Manasquan Yacht Club. It was Swan.
They thought you were Native American.
Oh, look at that.
many
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah.
So I figured while we were on the wedding, it would be a good time.
Yeah.
I like
He's
the white
probably
suit.
saying something so, I know that look.
Uh,
Something.
So how old? So you guys were how old then? 25,
I was
26?
25. He was 27. Yeah.
Was he on the? He was on the job at this point.
No, when I met him, he worked at the he worked down on Wall Street. He was
Oh.
at Brown Brothers.
Heard of him?
And he hated it. And then he got called, and I asked him not to take it.
Sounds very familiar.
And
Same thing. Same exact thing.
I asked him not to take it, and then I ended up screwing him because if he went in, that class didn't have CFR.
Oh, all
And then-
right.
And
The
then
next
I made
class had it.
the
Oh
next
my god.
class had it, and he like comes walking in with books, like, you know, and I was like, oops, I'll help you
medical
study.
jargon.
Yeah. But I tried to convince him not to take it. I mean, many conversations. Like first I just told him you're not taking it, which really I wouldn't recommend doing to somebody who really wanted it. I don't think we never discussed it because he didn't think he was going to, the list was going to come up. So he I think it was the second list, to be honest. I think he was on, that was like the second time, you know. So he eventually kind of warned, I hate saying that, he warned me down. Like it wasn't like I had that much power, believe me. And once he went on it, I realized that like that was the right
That's what he
decision.
wanted to do.
It's
Did
what
he-
he wants to do.
Did he have family on the job? Like, what?
Yes.
How did he get involved with that?
Yeah, his brother was a fireman. His 2 cousins were firemen. Now, John is like a change of life baby, which is like there was 4 siblings and then like 13 years. And then there was like, oh, surprise.
Yeah.
So he had much older siblings and older cousins too. So like they had been on the job for many years. So he had that experience of, you know, firehouses and such. So I did not, even though I live in Pearl River, which is every fireman and every policeman live in. We were not in. So I didn't know any of that like lingo or any of that stuff that I had to learn.
Yeah.
And where did he go? You were talking about that in the.
Oh
pre-show,
yeah,
Yeah.
he thought he had a hook, right? Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Yeah. What did she say in the pre-show?
I think it's a hitch.
Oh yeah,
The
she's
hitch.
like, oh yeah, he had a hitch. I'm like, hitch. Kenny's like, what do you mean hitch? She's like, I don't know. What do you say when we're
When you have
throwing words
somebody,
out?
when it can help you
When
out,
have
kind of a
somebody
thing.
help you out. I'm like, I don't know. Oh, you mean a hook?
A hook.
Yeah.
He thought he had a hook, and he talked a lot of crap to the guy who sat next to him, which is, I think it's Kevin Curran.
Yeah, Kevin Curran.
And-
I work with him. Yeah.
Yeah, and the nicest guy, but Kevin Curran kept his mouth shut, who apparently had a real hook. So that when the things came out, I think John was pretty, like, John wanted to go to a truck, and he was pretty sure he was going to like a busy truck. That's all. and he got 10 truck, which is at the base of the Trade Center.
Yeah.
And I mean, he liked his time there, but I think he was a little shocked. And then Kevin Curran got someplace in Brooklyn, a truck in Brooklyn, and he sat there laughing at John because when you run your mouth, you know what happens. So,
Yeah.
Whoopsie.
gods have something differently planned for you. So
If you keep your mouth closed, you can never get in trouble.
yeah. So it's funny. I just saw Kevin this past weekend, and he was telling me that story again. Like, he loves it. Like, that's
When I see him, I see him at a golf outing. I'm going to bring that up to him. Yeah.
Yeah, such a nice guy. Really, really good guy. Really good guy. So yeah, so he went to 10 for about a year, and then I had the hook to move. Again, so many people in my town, and there was I introduced him, not knowingly, not having any idea that this person had any kind of power, and he was moved like the next day up to the Bronx, up to 27, and he was so thrilled, and I was not. I'm like, here, I went and introduced him, and I moved him to a
busier place.
Right. Yeah. So, but I mean, he was beyond thrilled and so happy. He was like, "Oh, you want me to, because I'm gonna learn so much." And I'm like,
right.
okay. Yeah.
Still not feeling it.
You're all the same. So yeah. So he went there, I think in 90, let me say, probably 97, 90, no, maybe 98, maybe 98. And just loved it there. Like, absolutely loved it there.
Yeah, it's a good house. That's
yeah.
They've always done work. They still do work. When did you start? So you had 4 babies. You started having the babies right away.
Yeah.
Did you wait a while?
No, we waited like 3 years.
I'll wait for that one.
We waited 3 years, and I think he was ready, but like, I had just run the marathon, and so I was looking forward to the summer and surprise, surprise, Brielle came around, and I was like, we can finally have a bikini looking body. And that by that time, I think I was 3 or 4 months pregnant in June, but he was so excited. I actually bought him a little onesie, but it was a Yankee onesie.
Okay, good.
And
I think it was
good.
Which
Gonzo.
I can't believe that I did that, because I'm a huge Met fan.
Oh,
Huge Met fan.
Coobs, you love it.
I know.
He's watching. I think he's listening right now. He's loving it.
My dad was on the grounds crew at
That's cool.
in the 60s.
Wow, that's really
cool. And we have a picture of my dad taking someone off a stretcher, but no neck brace, literally like MASH, like a stretcher. And my dad is just carrying him off. He got knocked out, and they just and there's a picture of him in the Daily News. We have a picture of him.
Traction. We don't have to worry about any of that stuff. In the 70s, we don't worry about any of that crap.
They just rolled him right on, like might as well a bed sheet, and they just pull him off.
Sheet him.
So did you know you were gonna name her that, like, from the get go? How did that even pop up?
John actually came up with that. So we often visited the Jersey Shore, and I can, like, there's moments that you literally remember, and we were coming off the exit from like Manasquan into Spring Lake, and like Brielle would be there, and he said, "What about Brielle for a girl?" And I was like, "Oh, that's perfect." But I didn't think she was a girl, because his nieces and nephews, there was 13 of them, and 10 were boys. So
keep the socks on. Keep the
totally
socks on.
thought I was going to
different
positions. Have a boy. Like, I just assumed I was having a boy, and we never found out. Like, in any of our kids, we didn't find out. So like, they were just.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, when a guy comes up with a name like that with the sentimental, he's getting lucky that night. There's no doubt about it.
Well,
Oh, how about we name it after the bar we met at?
Yeah.
I love you so much.
Don't hate. Don't hate. You didn't do
I
it.
didn't.
was
But
a-
I mean, but we didn't.
Good move,
we didn't-
man. Senior
we
man
didn't
move
tell
right there.
anybody.
Slick.
Yeah, we didn't tell any names because I didn't want to hear people's opinions because like that's so Brielle's 27. So that's like kind of like the beginning when everyone started to weird names, not weird, just different kinds of names. And I called my mom at
Graces or anything anymore.
2:35 a.m. Brielle was born. I called my mom and told her, I'm like, we named her Brielle. My mother could never remember names or anything. She told everybody her name was Breesley.
Breesley.
I can see the relation.
I know. So the next morning, everyone's like, Breesley, where'd you get that name? I'm like, I don't know. That's not what her name is. So I'm like,
Well, he used to lifeguard down in Breezy.
Breezy. I was going to say Breezy. Breezy was a Breezy Point.
yeah.
So
yeah, so that was, and then Jack was just, but Jack is Jack, not John. He didn't want a John. He wanted a Jack. There's Jack. Yeah.
Nice.
And then Catriona is, believe it or not, named after a French speed skater. I was pregnant during the Winter Olympics, and not Katerina. Everyone thinks
Katerina Witt. I love
Right,
her. Oh my
right.
God, I love her.
It was an actual speed skater named Catriona. So, and then John loved the idea of Cat Bellew. So
That's a very unique. You don't hear a lot of people with that name, and it's definitely very unique.
I call it a wrong name every time I see it.
Yeah, stick with Cat, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I just say Cat now. I always screw it up.
I would love to know what she calls you when you're not around.
Yeah, she's calling me nerd. Look, I got her hat.
I know. I saw that you were sporting a nice.
This is my golf hat. I wear this a lot. This hat. I love the way it fits. It's perfect.
I know a lot of people love that.
Yeah, got to get that documentary made.
Let me get the film. Let me bring it up. I keep going back to that. I'm sorry. I'm going to wait for the right time.
There's
for that
Cat.
One. There's Cat again at Halloween. I want to get the family stuff before you.
That's the perfect face of Cat, judging me and everybody else around her.
Yeah. Shit. And then I got one with.
See, doesn't she have? Look at she's judging me again.
The smirk. Look at the lip. The left side of her face is like, wow, what are you doing?
We call that the stink eye. The stink eye.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't believe I have to do this. Just open the present.
Gotcha.
So how was he with the kids? Like, how was he? Was he tough? Was he easy? Was he a pushover?
Oh, please, he was so easy when it comes to the girls. We were so shocked that we had a girl first, and then forget it. He was just like, she was just the apple of his eye, and he ended up doing a lot of the childcare because I was a teacher in the town. Him being a fireman, he did his mutual partners so that basically he tried to work on weekends and then he could be home, so a lot of times like our weekend would be him going in Friday night, working all day Saturday, coming home Saturday night, going back in Sunday, and try and work at. My mom luckily took the odd shifts that, so we always worked it. We were able to work it out. He did he would work the co-op in the preschool and he would give me like the lowdown, which I felt better. Then I didn't like miss everything. Give me the lowdown about, Sally and Peter and who Brielle was not going to be friends with if he had anything to do with it, and then he did he was, because he was a swimmer, he had Brielle in swim lessons by 8 months old.
Wow.
At the Y, taking her to swim lessons. And then he knew once Jack came that energy level just shot up like tenfold. And so he had him outside all the time, like any sport possible. But now Catriona was a different. Catriona sat in his lap while he read. That's all she did. Cat's not a big mover. She doesn't
Most nerds aren't,
She's gonna hit us up.
I'm gonna hear about this later, so you know.
Sit in her lap and he would just read to her like New York Times. There was one thing that when he decided to go to the fire department, I said, one thing that I love about him is that he read the New York Times every single day. And I'm like, you can't do that. You can't not do that again. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. So he would bring the New York Times into the firehouse and he would get a lot of crap all the time because you'd be sitting reading the New York Times. Like,
can't be a Neanderthal and read. You know what I mean?
They just look at the stock market. You
The
know,
paper was upside down.
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah.
So he was a huge, and then Kat would just sit in his lap. Now, unfortunately, Kieran was only 5 months old, and he there's not that many memories, when John passed, and I'm sure he was doing a lot more with the others, since Kieran was so young. Yeah. And but funny enough, Kieran is the most like him. And 5 months you didn't capture how he walked, but Kieran walks away from me, and it's like John walking away from me. Like the bone structure, and then Kieran does a lot of like he'll be thinking as I'm talking, and he's not listening, and I'm like, "There's your father." I'm like,
"Are you listening to me?"
Yeah, and I'm like, he's like, I know what you're saying. And I'm like, oh my gosh, there's your father right there. And he has John's sense of humor. Just like really, like we really don't have much to do with this. I think genetically speaking.
Yeah.
We think we have so much to do with it, but we really don't.
Yeah, it's there.
No.
Interesting. So how before the fire, how was your relationship with the firehouse? Did you go to a lot of functions together? Did you know a lot of the guys?
Yeah, we did. We had we did all of like the picnics and the Christmas parties, and before kids, I would go to the softball games. They would joke a lot that they would be like, "Do you want your wife to take a bat for you?" Because I guess he wasn't great, And they would they'd be like, "No, walk is just as good, right?" All right.
Stick to swimming, right? Swimmers aren't usually hitting the fence, I guess. With this, maybe.
So yeah, we were there, and it was nice because it's relatively close to Pearl River, the Bronx versus being downtown, and at 10. Right. So that was kind of a nicer.
Okay, yeah, that makes a difference. Definitely.
So that day, I was working that day. I think I told you in the pre-show. We've talked quite a bit over the years as well, anyways. But so I was working that day, and so we had Richie Sclafani in our firehouse that day. So when it was a lot of snow. I ended up leaving late, and I don't even think I was on the highway a short time, and I started to hear a little bit about it. And by the time I got home, then we heard about the Bronx, and then we heard about that, and everything kind of was happening really fast. And then I pretty much got changed, and I was already heading on my way back to the firehouse. How did that start to happen with you, like initially on that day?
Yeah. John wasn't supposed to work that day. Well, he wasn't supposed to work Saturday. He was a mutual with someone. No, paying back someone. He was paying back someone on Saturday. And then that night I knew that there was a chance he was going to be held hostage because of the blizzard. Right. And he was a chauffeur. So he was held hostage, and when I spoke to him the night before, he was like, first thing, I'm out of here, because I was like, is there a chance you're going to be staying even longer? Because it was, there's so much snow. He's like, no, first thing, he's like, I'm out of here. I told the kids I'm going to take them sledding. We're going to go sledding. And when I woke up, I put the TV on right away, like I always did, to see if there was any fires. And I kind of sensed, because it's Mott Haven, like that was the neighborhood, his neighborhood. I thought there's a chance, that he was going to be. And I called his cell phone, and nobody answered, obviously. And then I called the firehouse. And back then they had landlines, like I don't even know if they have landlines still. And nobody answered. And I just kept thinking like, and what came on the news was that the 2 firemen fell off the roof. So I just kept thinking like, a chauffeur shouldn't be on the roof, right? Like I kept having a debate in my head, like, I'm not pretty sure a chauffeur wouldn't be on the roof, So I kept thinking, all right, that's okay. Then I'm good. I'm good. We're good here. And then that was at 8:30. And then I had to take care of the kids. And I kept going back into, we had a little TV in our bedroom. And I kept going back in and checking, and they kept reporting on it. And I kept thinking, John said somebody would come and get me. Someone's going to come and get me if something was wrong. So I kept looking out the window. Now there's no cars on the streets because of the blizzard, and it's like really not passable. Like the streets weren't really that passable, but I still kept thinking, all right, they'll come and get me. I mean, I'm like, they have fire trucks. They could get me if there was a issue,
You were thinking that already? Like you had a feel, like did you
Oh,
have a vibe?
I had a vibe. I did have a vibe. Once the person said, no, they didn't fall off the roof. They jumped out of a building. Like that was, then it flipped. And then they told us multiple people jumped out of a building. So that's when, so about half an hour into me calling the firehouse, somebody picked up. And I'm like, are they at the fire? And they're like, we're covering.
Relocated, yeah.
Relocated.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little rusty on my
You're good.
my
You're good.
part,
Your lingo. You need a
vocabulary.
lingo.
And they're like, we relocated it. And I'm like, okay, can you tell me if a chauffeur would be on the roof? And like there was like dead silence. And I'm like, this is Eileen Bellew. I'm John Bellew's wife. I'm like, can you tell me if he's at the fire? And they said, we're relocated. I'm like, I know. But like, can you tell me? And they're like, call back in 5 minutes. I'll have more information for you. I said, okay. Hung up, waited 5 minutes, called them back. Nobody picked up the phone ever again. They just let it ring. I let it ring and ring and ring, and nobody picked up.
Well, I'm sure the phone was ringing off the hook too, and they didn't want to give out. I mean, I could just imagine myself being in that position. It would be horrible to give out any information. Yeah.
Nobody wants to give the wrong information.
Yeah, right. I mean, it would be horrible, right?
To me. And so then I kept looking out the window, kept looking out and seeing if a car was coming. So that was about 2 hours of just like sheer hell, like hell, not knowing, not having any idea, nobody ever calling me, nothing. And so I came up with the idea of calling another guy from the firehouse who lived like in the next town over. And I called him, and his wife's like, oh my God, how is John? And that's when I found out.
Oh my God.
So that's when I knew. I was like, it's John. And she goes, hold on. And then she handed the phone.
Oh my God.
He goes, do you want me to come and get you? And I'm like, why do you have to come and get me? And he's like, why don't I come and get you? I'm like, do you need to come and get me? Like, why? Why do you need to come and get me? He goes, let me come and get you. And I was like, okay. But I still didn't really think that. And again, like now looking back and seeing the distance, but when you're thinking jumping out of a building, in my head, John broke his leg. Like that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking he's fine. He's fine. He broke his leg, So I had to get my sister and my mom to come over, and I was going to take Kieran with me because I was breastfeeding. Like this is what I thought. I thought, oh, Kieran's going to need to be fed, and I'm breastfeeding, so let me take him with me. And Joe comes in and he goes, I don't think that's a good idea to take him with you. And I was like, oh, okay. And then we get in the car and we start driving, and Joe, and again, mind you, I have a cell phone. Nobody ever called me. Like I have the cell phone with me. I'm in the car, and Joe is getting a bunch of calls, and I'm trying to listen, and my sister's trying to make like small talk and, like whatever. And I'm trying to listen really hard. And I'm like, Joe, like, what are they saying? What are they saying? And he's like, oh, too early to, I don't know. They don't have any updates. And then we drove down, and we're hitting the ramp around from the Palisades onto the GW bridge. And there was 2 cop cars with their lights on. And I said, oh, Joe, be careful. There's cop cars. And he's like, they were for me. And one pulled out in front and one pulled out behind. And I was like, this is it.
God. Yeah.
This is mine. this is my drive. And I was like, that's when it just hit me. Like, so I'm like, so wait, this is it? Like, this is like, and then Joe still didn't, again, like nobody wants to tell you, So when I came into the emergency room, I saw the senior man there, but there was like 300 firemen there, and they all some had their gear on, but a lot of them had plain clothes on. And all I kept thinking of is, you live further north than I do, which means you passed my exit and you didn't call me and you didn't talk to me. You didn't tell me. Now, again, I am well aware that's the worst thing. Nobody wants to do it, but nobody wants to sit for hours and not be told anything either, Never once did a chief ever come or contact me or talk to me ever. So I saw the senior guy, and I just blurted out, "Is he dead?" I wanted to say that so that he was like, "No, are you kidding me?" I had to say the worst thing, but he didn't say no and he didn't say yes, and he just moved me along. And I ended up going upstairs to the waiting room with all the other families. I didn't, and the thing is, I didn't know any of the other families. I think I knew one, Jean's wife, I had met her at a Christmas party, but they were in the same exact situation as me. I met Brendan's parents, who were the nicest people in the world. And so we just were sitting there all together, and I sort of was like, my worst moment, and I have to be with these people I don't know, So I was allowed to go in to see John, and John was he actually looked okay. He physically looked okay. He had burns on his ears and on his face. And I thought he kind of had a little smirk, a smile on his face, and his eyes were swollen, but I could tell his right leg was completely mangled. And then he had blood coming out of the left lung, both lungs, and then blood coming out of every auricle there was, nose and mouth. And there was this beautiful soul of a nurse who came and kept wiping it away so that I didn't see it. I mean, I saw it, but kept talking to him. And she knew he was dying, but she didn't let on. And she was like, "We have to clean that up, Mr. Bellew. You look so handsome." And she'd fix his blankets and she'd fix his pillows for me. And she's like, your beautiful wife is here. And I was holding the kids' pictures, and she put them in a plastic bag and put them on his pillow, the pictures of the kids. And she's talking to him, and I was talking to him, and I was trying to tell him that it was going to be okay. And I really did think it was going to be okay. When you see it on TV, it ends up being okay. It felt so surreal, and I felt so I was on TV. I literally felt like I was on TV. There was so I was talking to him I was on, we're going to do this. We can fight this. We got this. And then about after an hour, I came to realize that John was dying, and it was so selfish of me to ask him to stay. It was extremely selfish of me to ask him to fight for a life that would not have been swimming, skiing, reading, being a fireman. There's no way that he, sustaining all of the injuries that John did, which was basically he broke every single bone in his ribs, every rib he broke. He mangled completely his right leg, his femur, and then his brain swelling. So that was the big thing that they were worried about.
Big problem, right?
Yes, that was, and his eyes were swollen. So that I guess is an indication. I ended up talking to Dr. Kelly weeks later, when I was ready to hear all of the injuries, and I needed to hear if he survived, like what John would
His
have.
life would have been like, right.
Yes.
Right.
I suspected it, but I needed to hear it, you know?
Yeah.
So I said, I told him, like, you can go. Cause it was so like, how could I ask this man to go through that? And the thing later on, I've discovered or found out through diagrams and stuff of the fire, is that when you look at the windows of the firemen who jumped, and then they show you like little circles of where they landed. All of them land.
Right.
All of them land by the actual building, while John lands
Further
because he most likely was. Well, they found that he was on fire, and so he was escaping and jumping out with the air tank on, probably, and landing backwards on his air tank, breaking every single one of his ribs. So in my head, I think, like with my PTSD, it's those moments that I wonder if he thought he was jumping onto a fire escape, because that's where it should have been if there was no SROs.
Right.
Like if it was not chopped up, that's where the fire escape was, the next window over. So if I always wonder if John thought he was jumping onto the fire escape, and obviously wasn't. So that's my biggest when I think about it every day. Literally, I think about every day what he was feeling and thinking during the time that he was on fire. And then so John dies at like 1:00 in the afternoon. He jumped at 8:30. I hope he didn't feel anything. I just hope he left right from the time that he jumped. My hope is that he had already left his body, and his body was just left. That's the only thing I can think of. That's the only way. That's why the book is called After John Jumped, because it's my life. It's literally the defining moment. It's not when John died, it's when John jumped. That has basically, my whole journey has from that moment on.
And it's, I've heard the story before, from you, and it's hard to listen to, even a second or third time. So thank you for sharing that.
It's no doubt it's extremely difficult. That's it, to put it lightly.
When you hear, again, that day we had Richie, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we were focused on that, and I didn't really focus so much on what was happening. I mean, obviously we knew what was happening, but I didn't focus so much on that because we were focusing on his family and his life, all that stuff that we had to get done. But I mean, when I think back on how many times, I think if there's one audio that no matter when I listen to it, I can't shake it when it's over, like for the day or longer. Like when I was in the fire department and we would drill on that, like what could be done? What could you do? Right. It's just, when you listen to that, it's just, when you listen to the guys on the roof and you listen to the chief, and then it's just, I mean, there's no words. I mean, there's nothing you could say. And then to have this angle, which, I mean, I know you a few years, we don't really talk about that. Obviously we we laugh a lot on the phone and we make jokes, not about this, but we talk about the fire department stuff. But
it took me years and years to listen to that tape. I didn't listen to that tape for my God, many, 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 many years. The thing that strikes me, so to this day, if I listen to it, I still try and listen for John's voice for like one transmission, one snippet. But apparently he was not a big radio guy. he's like, you know, some people have told me there's some people who are like big radio people, like are constantly on the radio.
Chatterboxes. Okay.
Is that a nice way of saying it?
That is, no, there's no doubt that people like the limelight on the radio. There's no
Yeah.
doubt. Yeah.
And apparently
Thing.
John was not a big radio person, but I still, I'm like, maybe I missed it. Maybe I heard it because I want to hear his inflection in his voice. I want to hear if he's scared. I want to hear, you know, he doesn't call a Mayday, you know, he doesn't. And the one thing that strikes me the most is Lieutenant White. Lieutenant White is in the back and he is yelling because you can hear it in his voice, like yelling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And he is like, talk about really, really nice guys. Oh my gosh, 100% the nicest man. And he's always like, if you ever want to, call me, I can, talk to. And I had so many people like that. If you ever want to. So one night I couldn't sleep and he gave me his number and I called him at 11 o'clock on a Saturday night to ask him like just one question. And he sat on the phone with me for like a half an hour, just explaining everything that he knew, what he saw. And I I couldn't go to sleep that night because it was just, and I think to myself, what he must feel, what he must go through, that he saw along, with a lot of people, but that must be terrible on himself.
I find like what you just said just struck something to me. Like I find myself, it's 25 years.
Oh, five.
No, but 25 years since 9/11.
Oh yeah.
I can't stop watching. I need to learn more. I need to see something I haven't seen before. I've seen it all, and I need like just you want all the information. You just want more information. I don't, you just to make it make sense. Like something. Right. So that's what that is. Right. You just laying in bed. You're like, you can't sleep because you're thinking, I just need more. What did you see? What did you hear? What, give me something else to try and make it make sense. Like I still do that. My wife will come in and say, why are you watching that, torturing yourself again? I said, I can't not watch this because I want to know more. Right. It still bothers me, certain things, not all the time, but 9/11, I have to watch those documentaries that I've watched 50 times. I don't know, and
maybe there's something you'll find out that you didn't know. Maybe there's something you'll see that you didn't know. Right. Maybe there's somebody has a different version of what they saw or what they know. Just something, any little thing, anything.
It's funny you mentioned that too. That is so true because it's recently 9/11 stuff has been popping up on my phone, and they have a bunch of different camera angles. I'm like, oh, what am I going to see now? Like go back to Lou's point, is you're just looking for that information that's going to maybe help you cope or move to the next level or whatever you want to call it, or however you want to process the grieving process. But that's you're always looking for that, like you said, that little bit of information that's going to maybe close the chapter or close the book.
Right.
Yeah. And that when the criminal trial came about, it was 4 years. So I was ready. Like I was
going to say, when did it switch to angry? Did you ever get angry? Like you wanted to?
Oh yeah.
Punish?
If you ask people, there's a lot of people that might not have very nice things to say about me. But I mean, I remember I went off on a safety guy, a safety chief, I guess,
safety battalion,
who wrote the safety report, and he wrote one little thing about John, like not doing 2 men in, 2 men out rule or whatever. And then I researched. Yes, I researched that and everybody told me. And so I demanded that he take it out. And he's like, we're not taking it out. And I'm like, well, who's going? And now, my kids are young. And I remember sitting in the backyard and I'm screaming at the man. And I go, who's going to tell my boys when they read this, that this is bullshit? And like, oh, sorry. And I'm like, who's going to tell them? And he's like, I will. I go, you're going to be in Florida already. Like crazy. I'm like, you're going to be retired and in Florida. And he's like, I promise I'll come back and tell them. And I'm like, so I don't think he probably thinks very highly of me, but I I wanted to defend John because he wasn't there to defend him. And this is like one of the reasons why I wrote the book, is that when I sat in that courtroom for 6 weeks, I sat in the courtroom for 6 weeks, again, trying to get any little morsel that I might not have known, you know, from all the testimony, but also to represent him. And for some reason, I thought me sitting there I didn't miss one day, didn't miss one thing of testimony. And I wanted the jury to see me. I wanted the defendants to see me. I thought that I actually had some kind of power for them to know that it was like, you took my husband.
Yeah.
But nobody looked at me, and I got to say nothing. Like, that was crushing in the end when nobody was held accountable for him. The thing that really crushed me, and again, I'm coming at it from John Bellew's perspective. His name was barely mentioned in the courtroom.
The courtroom.
No, in the courtroom, barely mentioned, because they had to piece together the deaths using the 4 other firemen who lived. So they got to speak and they told their story. And John was almost like an afterthought, you know, and they would just be like, and nobody was with John Bellew, and he died. And then, and you're like, oh, I'm like in the courtroom, like screaming, like, yeah, he died. And like, you know what I mean? Like he died a death worse than if any of you murdered someone. Like, he still died a worse death, you know, and I never could, you know, I never could explain that.
Now makes so much sense that all the other guys were on, you know, you were hearing their names and where the companies, where they were from, all that.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, they got to like spill out their story to be on record, and John did not. And Kurt Myron did not either. So that is another reason why I wrote the book. I'm like, he needs to be represented. He needs to be told, like, there is a person behind the death.
Yeah.
And like a real human. Like, I love the fact that we just discussed that he was a swimmer and a reader, and you know, because that all gets lost.
People forget that they're people, they're families, they have children, they have wives, they have lives outside of just being on the fire department, and they did things, and they had hobbies, and they went away, and they swam, and they played basketball, and they did all sorts of stuff. And sometimes the death, like you said in the court, it sounds like just it's an afterthought. Oh, he's already dead, so you know, we have to focus on the living. But there is what he left in death. He left an entire family, 4 very young kids and a wife. Like, so people not that people forget, but it's just like
it's not enough attention that's drawn to it, because somebody writing a book now will draw the attention of those of us that want to know what happened to the family.
Well, you know the story, but you don't know the story. Right? Like right now, I mean, I've known this story for 25 years, but I don't know this story. You know, I don't know these, and I know her, you know, over some time, but I don't know, you know, all the ins and outs. Like, was the FDNY? Obviously, the guys in the firehouse had to have been very, very supportive, right? I mean, the FDNY as a whole.
I mean, they had, you know, the problem with our fire was that it wasn't not just a death. It wasn't a death and that's it. Gene had tremendous injuries that the firehouse had to tend to him a lot. Brendan too had injuries. So they would be, you know, they got stretched very thin in driving.
You don't think about. Yeah, I don't think about that. Right.
And like,
There's only so much you could do, right? You only get so many guys and so many vehicles and so much stuff you could do to help.
Exactly. So, and they still, like, to this day, they still have a memorial mass. And again, it is like a Black Sunday memorial mass. And I didn't go to it this year because it's just too sad. Like, in the beginning, it served me very well. It served me well. I wanted to go to it. It was
Stefani doesn't come either.
Right. It connected me. And the other thing that I guess in my book that you don't just lose John. I lost the whole firehouse. You're different. You're not a wife coming to the firehouse. You're a widow coming to the firehouse. And they're so sweet and they're so kind and they would do anything for me. But it's not the same banter. It's not the same knowledge.
Right.
I don't know who, who's having kids anymore. And I had that. Like every day John came home and told me, something that was going on with the different guys in the firehouse. And I knew it. And then all of a sudden, I don't know any of them.
Yeah.
I don't know one
even
thing.
for us, when we retire, it's the same.
Yeah.
It's the same cutoff. It's the same, not the same thing, but similar to that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a loss, so I lost that. I lost his friends from like Rockaway. I lost his friends from Manhattan College. Not really lost, but sort of. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm not calling them, so there's multiple losses within one loss,
Short time too. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So that was difficult. And then when the civil trial came about, I thought, all right, this is it. I'm getting my date in court. I'm going to do it. It was the most disappointing day. I thought it was going to be like confrontational and like I was going to give it to them. And I got up there and they were like 2 or 3 questions. The City of New York's lawyers apologized to me for John's loss. The building owners apologized. And I was like, that's it? And they're like, you can get down now. And I'm like,
Oh my
what?
gosh.
Yeah. I literally rehearsed everything for 12 years in my head. And it didn't happen.
Was that a consistent
I had
pattern?
impact statements in my head and none of that happened. None of it happened. And once again, the firemen who unfortunately, Joey had passed by then. They got up there and got to do their whole thing again. So, and I'm thankful for them because if not for them,
yeah, right. But it's frustrating that you didn't get a
there
chance
is no
to
court case.
You didn't
Right.
get your side out,
Yes.
And
so I appreciate them. I do.
You were there to speak for John, and
Yes.
you didn't get to, and they didn't want. The guys that are still around, they get to speak and tell their story, but nobody got to tell John's story or Kurt's story, or
Right. Right.
So,
And also, that's a missing piece for you as well, Eileen, to help you to have that conversation, to let everybody know how you feel and kind of stuff, just to help you with the process as well.
Right.
As well as speaking for John.
Yes, exactly. And like I sat in those courtrooms and I'd want to scream, but they'd make reference to it. And I'm like, and John died. Like, I want to yell, ow,
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, exactly. I'm here.
You're not paying attention here.
I'm over here.
Did you learn anything at the criminal trial or the civil trial that you didn't know about that day, or I don't know.
I actually didn't know that John was on fire. I don't think that they because when they took out his turnout gear was in evidence for 12 years. Not that I would have it, you know what I mean?
Right.
But they took it out and it turned brown, which means that it went to vapor.
High heat. Yep.
Yeah.
Thermal loading, right? Yeah.
His helmet, which I was kind of laughing, you mentioned it earlier, was leather. And he had the leather helmet, and it melted. So the his leather part was melted. So that was the first time I had actually saw, and they didn't bring those out in the criminal trial. So they didn't, that wasn't evidence in the criminal, but it was evidence in the civil trial. So that was like the first time. The other thing is that they brought and listed all of his injuries. Nobody had told me all of his injuries. Like every single rib was broken, and And I actually like that. Was that sad? Yes, but that made me happy. I'm like, yep. Like, like, yeah. So, but again, like for 6 weeks, you're talking about 10 minutes. That is about John.
Yeah.
Did it bother you? Like, did you feel like because of all of these things that it kind of dragged on where you didn't have maybe closure, or I don't know if that's the right term, but if, because it keeps regurgitating all the time and you have to go through each detail again, like it was just this constantly long-term thing?
Yeah, but
it's of the grieving process.
Yeah, but the other thing that was sort of strange when the verdict came in, so 12 years after the verdict came in.
Wow, I didn't even know
12
that.
years.
And I kind of became, because it's always like here. It didn't rule my death. You know what I mean? It never ruled my life. But now it doesn't have to be there anymore. And it was like a loss. Do you know what I mean? Like, even though they favored us in the civil trial, so like that was great, but it still was like a loss, because it's like, oh, I'm literally done with that. There's no need for me to think about that when you thought about it for 12 years. I mean, not every day. I didn't think about it every day.
Without getting too personal, when it's a civil thing, I mean, do you get a check, or the guy he's broke and he has nothing? Like, how does that? What happens with that?
So it was it's the building owner's insurance.
Okay, good.
That and the city of New York.
Oh, okay, good.
The thing that one of the things that was very crushing for me is that New York state law does not allow a widow to sue. So we sued on behalf of the children. I sued on behalf of my children. But if this happened in Jersey, the Jersey law states that a widow can sue for loss of services, but in New York you can't.
Really?
And then the other thing that really was, but the survivors' wives could sue.
What?
Seriously? That doesn't make any freaking sense.
Well, why would it make sense? Why would you have something in New York make sense? So you're gonna now I'm gonna be like out of my mind right now.
That's hard to swallow, man.
Yeah.
Wow, that is.
Yeah.
I think he told me that one time before.
Yeah.
I think it's starting to ring a bell now that I think about it.
I guess for loss of services and such.
Wow.
And now I don't know what the wives got. I really don't, because you don't find out what other people, you know what I mean? Like,
right. Yeah.
Whatever. But I did, when I discussed with the judge, I let him have that one. That was another one of my finer things. I'm like, you can't do that. Like, you can't tell me that this is right.
Yeah. I mean, it's just,
I lost everything.
You lost everything.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Everything. And I have to do both jobs, both a husband's job or a dad's job and a mom's job. And I have loss of services. And in New York State, you can't.
Well, that's
what
I want to get to.
Is it to this day? That's
That's how the law's written.
I figure we'll move on, and that you kind of answered you kind of mentioned my next question I had. How was it raising them rugrats?
They're the every reason why I got up. Like, I am not sure I would have chosen to stay if they were not here. So those were the only reason why there was a reason to get out of bed every day. And I knew that it was unfair for them to get dealt this. That being said, I'm not saying that I was always there, I was physically there with them every single day. I can't say that I was mentally there with them for probably the first 2 years. So many things bother me, but those first 2 years of your child's life, so Kieran was 5 months old, is the funnest, enjoyable time. You get to see him walk for the first time. You get to see him. I'm not sure. I don't know any of his milestones because I just was functioning. I just was getting up, making milk in a sippy cup or breastfeeding him still. But I just was going through the motions.
I was going to say going through the motions, yeah.
And never really being with them, you know? I mean, Kieran will tell people, and Kieran's like, oh, I was raised by wolves. I'm like, dude, you weren't like raised by wolves. Like, he wasn't.
Oh, take it easy.
It wasn't that bad, but he tells people he was raised by wolves, And honestly, maybe the most
freaking awesome,
flexible, easygoing person. And I'm like, see, there you go. Like because
That's
the other
so
thing
funny.
too, the fire department, because I still was able to get John's salary, it allowed me to quit my job and raise them, like, so that I didn't miss a beat. We raised our kids together. Somebody was always here. It was either me or John or whatever. Now it would just be me. But that is completely because the fire department allowed me to do that, So they, but I hate, the one thing that I really, really can't stand when people will easily jump, and I understand why they say it. They say it because they don't want you to be sad and they don't want your kids to be sad. So I get it. But they'll say, at least they were young. And I'm like, no, like at least they were young. You're missing everything. You're missing the fact that they missed out on all of John's brilliance, on all of John's guidance, on all of his opinions. Like I literally was just having this conversation with Katriana that something came up recently, a positive, happy event that came up. And I said, I just want to turn to him and go, isn't that freaking great? Like, aren't they awesome? And it's so lonely to not have him. Now, I remarried and my husband's awesome and he's great. But it's just that one person that you created the other person with. And as great as my husband is, it's still not their father, And it's really like, I'm feeling it more now than even when the kids were so busy and we just did work now that they're gone and successful.
Once they get out of the house, it's a little weird. I have to say.
It is, because I'm looking around going, God, like I want that sit back in a, rocking chair and going, we did it. We got him out, like.
Well, listen, I did that, but I did that. And I look at my wife and I'm just, I hope she still likes me. I mean, I don't like me. And, I've used that line, it's just, it's a little weird in the house, like you don't hear, something breaking, or there's, the remote's missing, or there's nothing in the sink anymore.
I was going to say the dishes in the
everywhere.
Yeah.
It's all funny like that. But But well, I've told you this before. I've heard countless times, except for the nerd. I know she's a bad seed. I heard all the other kids, and we've talked about this. When you have something like this happen to a family, it's very easy for you or the kids to get off track. There's a lot of things that you can have an excuse about that. You could say, well, I lost my dad or I lost my husband, and you don't do the right thing for the kids. They don't do the right things for themselves, drugs, everything. You could go in the toilet, your relationship with the kids, right? And I know just from talking to you and Kat and that, and like I said, I hear from everybody how well behaved the kids are and how well they're doing, and I'm happy for you.
Yeah. They are really, they put up with a lot, and I'm not kidding. They put up with me, and that made them the most like empathetic, emotionally intelligent people, because they watched me suffer tremendously with anxiety and PTSD, and not letting them play football, and putting my own anxiety onto them, and they stomached it, and always had my best interest, which you think like, oh, lucky you, you're so lucky. But there's a lot of guilt to that, because they should be kids.
I was going to say they get forced to grow up quickly, is what I was going to say.
Exactly. They should come home. And I'm not saying they believe. Katrina's going to write, I was perfect. I know she's going to text that right now.
Yeah, I'll keep looking. I haven't seen it.
But I know that they didn't do a lot on purpose, because they never wanted me to be sad, and they didn't want me to be suffering, because they knew that I suffered all the time. That to me is sad, because they didn't kind of typically have like a normal carefree, that carefree life when, that you don't realize there's consequences. They always knew there was a consequence. Always. I tell this story about Kieran. Kieran was 4 years old, and he went into a kindergarten screening, and they said, what do you want to be when you grow up? And he said, Santa Claus. And the woman goes, oh, that's so sweet, because he gives, nice little boys and girls presents. And he goes, no, because he never dies.
Oh my God.
And that's 4 years old. So at 4, he knew what death was. And all of those things that made them who they were. They are phenomenal people. They really are. They are such good people, but not without a lot of sadness. And I always say, though, I think I get credit for them, but I can't wait to get to heaven and John be like, I freaking did all of that. Like, like I'm pretty sure he's going to be like, I watched over all of them 24 hours a day. You got all the credit, and really was me, which I hope that's actually happens. That would be great.
Sure. So I got a question for you, and it's a little like with all the anxiety, you're very open about your PTSD and your anxiety and how you projected that onto the kids, and with football and sleepovers and all that stuff. Did any of the kids were they ever pissed off at you as they were growing up and go, you know what, I'm going to piss her off and do something to mess with her anxiety and her trauma? Just kind of popped into my head,
That's a great question. I don't know any of them would admit it, because I'd probably give it to them.
I'll take no shit over nobody.
Yeah. Listen, I am certain that they talk among each other. There's definitely a group text that I'm not involved in that is like, if she's at it again, blah, 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 send, I'm certain, which I'm happy that they have. You know what I mean? I really am happy that they can bounce off. Like at this point, they laugh at the anxiety. And then like when I'm giving them the list of things that I'm worried about, but like they laugh at it. But I think too, they already know everything I'm going to say, because I've like ingrained it into their heads, which is sad. Like they just didn't have that free, like, let me not go home tonight, or let me,
Yeah.
Well, consistency is good too. I think that's it. When you get wishy-washy on stuff, that's when it goes south too. So if you're saying the same thing over and over again, they know where the line is. And I think that, I do that with my kids. I think everybody does that. If you're the best officers in the fire department are the guys who are consistent. Guys say that all the time. You know what I mean? Like if they do the right thing, the same thing over and over again, you know what you're getting, whether you like it or not. You know what I mean? And the same thing with a parent, I would say. So I would say that.
And they're all very tight, right?
Very tight. Yeah. And I will say that there's only, it was some 6 at the time it was 6'3", 5 months old. John's rationale of having Kieran was that if he was going to be a boy, which we didn't know, they would be able to drink together, like in the bars, like closer. So like we couldn't wait much longer. So,
He was just trying to get you. He was just trying to get you into bed. Hey, listen, if we do this here.
So that was his rationale. But so they are very, very close. I mean, I think they truly understand that there's only 5 people in this world that have gone through what they have, their personal story, you know?
Yeah.
So that to them, they don't want to, you know, they don't want to break that. And they all live close. So they often go out together without me.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Don't tell mom we're going out.
Yeah.
All right. So we got about a half hour to go. So when did you first start thinking about a book? When did this come about?
I started to think about it after Catriona. So when Catriona went to NYU and she decided to write the screenplay for Black Sunday, she interviewed me. She interviewed Brendan. She read the safety report that I had to tell her to. I probably whited out that 2 men in, 2 men out rule. And she read all of the documents, like of the criminal trial and all that. And then when she was interviewing me, she was asking me these questions. And I was like, wondering if she was asking me them just like in a formal interview, or she didn't actually know the answers to them. And I'm like, don't you know that? And she's like, no, I don't know that. So it came to, like, I realized that she really doesn't have the knowledge of her own history, because when I came home and did the worst thing I've ever done, I had to tell each of them that their dad died. And I told them each differently because they were young and it was age appropriate. And, you know, I had to tell each one a different way. And so after that, we didn't revisit it. Like you tell them that their dad is in heaven. Their dad was trying to search for a baby, but you don't tell them the details of how brutally what happened to him. When we would go to the memorial mass and the plaque dedication, I spent a year protecting them from information. And then you sit in that plaque dedication and they spew it all out. They tell you, for some reason, the dignitaries want to tell the details of the fire. And I'm like, and I remember I like turned and I think Kieran was playing with the baseball, and I was trying to play with him, like
Just to distract him.
Earmuffs, no. And then the next year, the same thing happens. And I didn't fill them in on things. And so she didn't actually have that information. So I was like, I should probably write this stuff down for them, write down. They obviously attended the funeral, but they didn't know that there was 10,000 firemen on the coldest funeral ever.
It was the coldest.
FDNY.
I remember
They didn't know that
Yeah.
it went from the top of the hill where our church is all the way down into town. They didn't have that information. I remember they were so excited about driving in a limousine. They were like, yeah, and like having no clue that they were going, and so I told them about that. I told them about the ceremonial unit. I told them about the church. I told them about the day that I told them, because Catriona doesn't remember. Catriona was like telling me that her brother hit her or something, while I'm telling her that her father died, So then some crazy stuff happened along the way where spiritually that John let us know that he's here. And I wrote those stories down. Then I wrote down some stories about how I needed to get help, and just to show them that if they ever need help, with medicine or therapy, that their mom did it. Their mom needed it. Their mom still needs it. So I wrote down all of those stories. And then as I did that, I had an editor take a look at it, and she's like, I really think you have something here. I really think that there's something here for other than my 4 kids. I think that if you put this together, it could benefit widows, it could benefit children of lost, it could benefit firefighters, it could benefit first responders. It really is an in-depth look about what happens after all the ceremonies, after the funeral, when you're left and everybody leaves, and they have to, you know what I mean? I'm not like everybody has to, but there's such a different timeline for grief and a different timeline of how to get through. And I spell it all out. Like I spell out our journey. And I'm not trying to speak for anybody. Like I'm not trying to speak for other widows because they probably had different. This is just my story. I'm not trying to be an expert on line of duty or anything like that. But I do think there's some value to put it out there and for people to maybe gain some hope. Like, oh, I did feel this way too. Or, and ultimately in the end, I do discuss what we gained from our journey, which we did. Like through the struggle, there is some positivity that happens. The kids do learn empathy. They have emotional intelligence. They, their connectiveness, their spirituality, all of that we gained because of the journey that we went through. So I write that all down in hopes that if somebody's not feeling that they have anything positive about what's going on in their lives, maybe they'll feel it.
Do you have a, let me say it's I don't want to say a favorite part of the book, but a part of the book that you
don't give it all away.
Don't give it all away, but because maybe it's a yes or no answer. A part that you really liked, and then a part that maybe you felt extremely difficult to write.
The most difficult.
Going into detail.
Yeah, the most difficult part to write was when I came home to tell the kids. That, like, it's funny. I did when I would write it, I would stop and think of something else to do. I couldn't physically write what happened. I also was shocked at how much I remembered. Like, this is stuff that you try to put out. And once I started writing, I couldn't believe how many stories I remembered.
Yeah.
I was just blew me away that how much detail, like how much detail and stuff that I remembered. And then, like, even now, I gave all 4 of them the chance to read the book, and they could take anything out. We could take any part out. I don't care. Take anything out. And they came back and they were like, you didn't put the sock story in. I like that one. Like they were telling me stuff I forgot, and I was like, oh yeah, I should put the sock story in, Yeah. But the hardest one, so the other day I was on a widow podcast and she's like, oh, I'd like you to read from the book. Can you open up to page whatever? I'm like, sure. It opens up to the one page that I had so much trouble writing, never mind reading it. And I was like, I'll try and read this.
Yeah, that was a setup.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, I don't think I can do it.
I'm going to read a different page.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you say 82? I still remember what my mother told me when I was 9.
Do you?
I could remember, like you said, I could remember her coming in the room, sitting us down, the whole thing. Yeah, her crying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And something similar to how you, even for a 9-year-old, she said it in a way that it wasn't, harsh.
Right.
I don't remember her saying he's, dad or any of those things that would.
Yeah, I know. I didn't use the word dead.
Going to heaven. Yeah.
Yes, went to heaven, and and Jack wanted to call him in heaven, and and then the beautiful thing about children is that they visit grief and then they go back to playing, and then they visit and then they go back to playing, and they have like these waves, while I just was in the doldrums over many, many,
Yeah.
many.
You know what?
You know.
I don't know if I told Kat this. I don't remember if we talked about this, but I have said this on the show. I don't know when or how. It's usually when something comes up like this, but there is no doubt that I have lived my life like he's watching me the whole time, and I'm still trying to make the guy proud, you know. And I didn't really. I mean, I know him from a 9-year-old, but I still feel, just from what my uncles have told me about him and what, you know, my aunts tell me about him over the years. You know, I've heard every story, and, you know, he's kind of my temper is kind of like his, and, you know, all that type of stuff. So I do feel like the kids, I'm sure they have, even if they don't say it, there is something where they just have this this feeling that they want to make him proud all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's no doubt about it. So.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. I didn't use that whole thing. Like, I didn't use the whole guilt thing, like your dad's watching, or, you know, whatever,
Right.
you know, I probably said
No,
Santa.
it's definitely mine. Yeah, it's
But,
definitely my thing.
you know,
He definitely was
Yeah.
watching him.
but I do think that, I mean, it has to shape you, you know, it has
Oh,
to
there's no
shape
doubt. Yeah.
every aspect of you. And like I said, like, I'm pretty sure, you know, nature nurture, that nature is a lot more than nurture. I just think genetically we are preconceived to be who we are
Who you
supposed
are.
to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you said,
Yeah.
your youngest son he's him, you know, so
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
He's so him. It's like to the calic, the you know, like so much so. So
I hate
some
Alec.
hair texture, everything, you know.
Yeah. There's so much, it's such a eye-opening book. And one of the things that it really made me think about, like, Shannon, you know, you said that you put the TV on if John was working that night. And, you know, if you were home and you watch the news, I'd always tell my wife, I'm like, oh, I tell her what position I have. Oh, I got the nozzle tonight, or I'm driving tonight, or I'm working in the truck tonight. And she'd always, thinking about it now, she'd always be like, okay, you're driving. I don't have to worry because I know you don't go into the fire if you're driving the engine. And then if she's like, oh, you're working in a truck in the Bronx somewhere, or she'd worry that I'm, you know, she knows I'm going in if there is a fire, or if I got the nozzle, I'm going in. So it was like I never really think about what my wife was thinking when I was at work. I was like, yeah, I got the nozzle, or I'm working in a truck. What you guys go through, what you guys think, you know, I never really thought about that until reading, you know, the book. So, man.
We're shitheads for that way, but you know.
Yeah, I mean,
You don't think
I don't know. It's
but
just,
that's what the book is, and shedding light on in these situations. I feel
Yeah.
it's going to have a major impact on people once they read it and see. Because it's
absolutely.
one thing I've stressed with my tragedy and after the shooting was, you know, it's the families that are involved. There's a different feeling. You know, once the attention wears off, there's a you know, you're not to say forgotten about, but it's a different mindset of the different things you got to deal with that people just don't think about. They move on, they go about their lives, and you're left to try to, you know, pick up the pieces and move things along.
Right. And it's not malicious like that. When you were saying anger, I was angry for a long time because you're like, do you know what I went through? Like, do you know what I mean? Like you're thinking that, and I'm like, it's not that people, they just want you to be better. It's not like they don't want to deal with you. It's that everybody wants people to be happy, you know, so that sometimes if you just ignore what's right in front of you, meaning me being miserable, it's easier than dealing with the fact that I'm miserable, you know. But I that's taken many years because I had like quite a bit, you know. There's like, you know, you see all the survivors moving on and talking, going around the United States and talking about the fire, and you know, and you're left holding the bag with, you know, that's tough. But now
I would have never thought that either. You know, like when I used to see those guys at the shows, because I used to go sell the stuff with Kevin and them, and you used to see them, and you never think about that because in a way, I mean, they're going out, they're kind of, I don't know what, popular, right? They're kind of moving, you know, that, you know, they're in my mind, they're helping the guys because they're giving them information. Like, again, there's young guys on the job, right? They're getting information that could, in a situation, save their life. But, you know, again, flip it around to your situation, And it's kind of like, well, what about me? You know, like, what about us? You know, we sacrifice the most. And, you know, it just, you know, it's a little weird situation. I didn't think, you know, I never thought about that like before.
Right.
Like that.
And that's like the same thing with the memorial mass, you know, like there's 6 people, you know, in that memorial mass that happens every year, and I don't want to go anymore to it. You know, it puts me back a week. Like I go there and I don't know anybody. There's like very few people that actually, that's 20 years. Like very few people left in that firehouse. Yes, they come back to the memorial mass, but people who actually work there, I don't know. You know, I don't know too many of them. They're very nice, but you know, and I sat there and I was like, this kills me. It kills me because you see the survivors and this is their memorial mass too. Okay. But they're attending it as a survivor. I'm attending it as I have nothing.
Yeah. Completely different.
It is completely different. And it's not, you know, I don't want to put myself in those situations anymore because it's just sad. So, and every January 23rd, the kids and I celebrate John. We celebrate April 15th is his birthday. We celebrate him, but we celebrate him. We don't talk about the fire. You know.
I was going to say, last year, was it last year or the year before? Was the first year I didn't go. We for 9/11 we go back to the firehouse, right? Because of the guys, right? We have and a lot of the family members still come back out of the 19. Maybe we get, you know, on a, if it's not a 5-year anniversary type thing, 10, 15, 20, whatever it was. But I said, you know, I told my wife, I said, you know what, this year I'm not going to go back to the firehouse. I don't want to go back to the firehouse because it's just, it's enough. Like I've been there. Something was saying, don't do it. You know what I mean? I'm going to take a break. I think it was, I don't know if it was last year. And, Kenny, you know, they have the one over in,
Firefighter Memorial, right?
The Firefighter Memorial in the park up here in, I don't know if it was Wappingers Falls. Up by me. I forget where it is. If it was in Goshen, maybe it was in Goshen. So a couple of guys had said, yeah, you should come over there. We get a few guys and we have a little, you know, I guess for the guys who don't lose anybody to go down to the city, you should come over here.
Right.
So I went there. And do you know, the whole time I was there, I kept saying to myself, now this is just me. I'm like, I shouldn't be here. I should be at the firehouse. I had this tremendous guilt on me, you know, like I feel like, and again, I don't know if it's just personal, like guys are going to, you know, be pissed off at me or whatever. I don't know if I had, you know, probably a combination of everything, but I said to my wife, I said, you know what? I'm glad I did it because now I know where I'm supposed to be. Right. So, you know, where you're not supposed to be, you know what I mean? So it however it works for you, that's, you know, that's how it's supposed to be. So, but I can understand either way, you know?
Yeah. And I do feel like I feel terrible for the Scalfanis because I feel like they're kind of forgotten.
Yeah. There's no doubt. I feel that way.
There's 6 people on, you know, that jumped. And then obviously, he died later that day, but it sometimes is not mentioned as often. And I feel terrible for them, but they must, you know.
It's like 9/11. It's like the Pentagon. It's like, you know, those other places where they got, you know, Shanksville, and those guys don't get the same, you know,
attention. It's
attention
different. Right. Attention is not a bad way to look at it. I mean, it's just,
you know, it's just how, you know, unfortunately, you know, he was, you get 6 guys jump out of a building, you know, like, it's a bigger, and they, you know, blacks. When did that happen? That was where 2 guys, it's like the early 1900s, right? Where that happened?
Like
1918, I think. Yeah.
Is it? I don't even know.
The original Black Sunday or something like that, right?
Just two separate fires where
2 guys died, right?
In two different boroughs or something like that. I don't know the whole thing. I think it was 1918 though.
Yeah. I know it was early.
Yeah.
But how are the book selling? Let's get into that. How are they going? Like hotcakes? You can't keep them on.
Yeah, I'm really surprised at how.
No, I'm going to bring it up while you're talking. Don't mind me. I'm just going to advertise your book a little while you're chatting.
I'm Yeah, my goal was that for 4 people to read this, meaning my 4 kids, and I'm not sure if all 4 have read it. But when I put it out there, it's very, very scary because you're just waiting for the judgment to occur. And again, I think I'm so honest in the book. This is my story. This is my perception. And I don't try and talk for everyone else. I'm certainly not an expert in any aspect of it. Do I think there's value? Yes, I think that people could gain something from it. I was blown away at how many people have purchased it. The other thing that blows me away is everyone reads it in 2 days. It's like,
I can't put it down.
It's shocking. They're just, it's like 2 days. They're like, I read it. And I'm like, you just got it. And they're like, I read it in 2 days. So, I mean, I'm not the author of War and Peace. So like it's a little bit easier to probably read it.
So it's on Amazon.com.
Yeah. And
the name of the book is
anywhere you get.
After John Jumped, or EileenBellew.com.
EileenBellew.com is my website, and you can go straight to.
So what else? You were saying that which was a hot seller. What was the number one?
Oh, so you in Amazon you get like ranked on bestsellers, and it was for it was for like new releases. So my first new release number 1 was In Death. So I am number 1 in Death.
So you got that going for you.
I got that. Yeah. I'll put that on my resume. My number 1 Death seller, and then different other categories. It became like number 1 in PTSD, number 1. Then
That's good.
I told my kids, and if I text them, and I don't even get a heart, like I don't even get a like. And then I wrote, and parenting, and they're like, absolutely not. I'm like, no, I'm serious. They're like, screenshot it. I'm like, I'm not serious. It's number 1 in new releases and parenting.
You don't believe it? You lived it.
They have no belief at all. So that really was so surprising at how much it's taken off.
I'm just so happy you're beating Kubla. That's all
I was just going to say. Don't tell Coobs.
Oh, we're up against each other.
He's like number 37 on,
in Amsterdam.
Well, now
I got the results from Helsinki. I'm, 62.
Number 62 in Helsinki. Nice job. Keep going, baby.
Yeah.
So and then now a couple people will reach out to me and ask like for them to do like book signings and stuff, which is just so
nice.
So weird for me. You know what I mean? Like
it's a little weird.
Speaking of, I'm just going to post this up here.
Coming events. What the heck is going on?
Coming events that you have coming on. She's busy right now. So we got May 9th, we got May 12th. You guys, I'll leave that up there for a couple seconds while we're chatting, and hopefully some guys can make note of where you're going to be.
Florida, New York. That's
I know.
My town. I might have to stop over there. I got to put this in my.
Oh, look at that! I was waiting. I said Florida. You coming to South Florida? Let's go.
When is it? June 18th
and the 20th.
And the 20th? Are you kidding me?
I didn't even know there was a Barnes and Nobles in Florida.
No, that one, Barnes and Noble. That one's in the Palisades. That's in the mall. In West Nyack.
It says Florida, New York, though.
We got to correct that.
We got to correct that.
Yeah.
The Florida, New York is the library.
18th.
The 18th. Got to put that down on my calendar.
Right. I got
it. Okay.
Yeah. Nice.
Man.
I said to you, I thought that you'd be on a huge tour. I think you're going to be on TV, and like
I need Kenny to be my PR guy is what I need.
I've been pushing it, man. I've been pushing it. So it needs to be out there. It needs to be read. It needs to be told.
I know. Well, another weird thing for me is that I got married on Live with Kelly. So my husband put in, and we got picked for Live with Kelly on the Hawaiian wedding.
No way.
And I wrote a whole chapter about the Hawaiian wedding, and like all about, it was awesome. And it's probably the reason that I'm married, because they did everything for me. So I didn't have to do it, but I had to like pick out Disney princess dresses. It was like, it it's a fun chapter because it's like talks about Disney, whatever. So like from your mouth to Kelly's ears, I'm like, she should have me on. Shouldn't Kelly have me on? I wrote a whole chapter about her.
Yes.
I think so.
Yes.
How do you make that happen though? Like, I don't know how to make that happen.
How that happens. But
only you had a hook.
Yeah,
I
need
a
hook.
hitch.
I need a hitch. And a hook.
Oh, hitch. Sorry, I should have said hitch.
Hit her up on Instagram. I don't know. Maybe she's on Instagram. I'm sure she is.
Yeah, slipping in with DMs.
Yeah, I mean, I've tried.
Slide into the DM.
Slide into the DM.
I sent the book to them. A couple, but they're like protected. Can't get to them. So maybe somebody out here knows someone.
Knows.
How's Kat doing? She's doing good with everything?
She's doing great. She's so awesome. She really is just well beyond her years, really making things happen. She still working on the movie. She's working on a lot of other things too, not just the movie. Trying to find, the investment part is obviously the most difficult part. She has everything else in place. So I hope to see it for herself. I also hope to see it for like all firemen self, because her movie is protecting, like, it's not a Hollywood version. It's truly protecting all firemen, making sure that they are, shown in the best light. There is part of it that shows what the families go through, that she wrote it before my book. So it has nothing to do with that. But my hope is that she will someday. I remember her saying that it takes 10 years for you to make a movie. So she's well into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's just such a hard worker. And she really is. It'll happen. You just got
to keep going, grind it up.
Yep. Yeah. Don't quit on it. Don't quit on it.
Yeah, that's one of those ones that take a lot of determination.
Yeah. It really does. She had like and so nice, like some of the people that we've come along the way. We had I had this conversation with this really adorable fireman down in was it Russo's on the Bay? Like it was the retirement thing.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, I should let you give my nephew," and he's like, "Oh, I think he's somebody." He ends up being somebody like big, but he like has no idea. Like he's just so cute, and he was like, he might be helpful, and he was like a big deal, So he was helpful, and
he's a hook.
Cute.
Yeah, Hitch. I'm gonna say Hitch. I'm gonna go back to Hitch.
Maybe Dennis Leary. If Dennis Leary's watching the show,
we're gonna see Dennis Leary on the 1st. Yes, maybe I could.
There's your hitch right there.
Yeah, I got a couple of hitches. I didn't even know I had a hitch. Who knew I had a hitch? I never had a hitch my whole life. And
what are you talking? You think I'm a hitch? What are you talking about?
Oh my God! How crazy!
Crazy. Coach, can you coach the Bears? I can stick around. I can coach this team.
Hey, listen, what's that girl over there? That gal over there, Kelly. You know her over there. Yeah. I got a friend Oz. Got to talk to you.
Who knows where it'll bring? Yeah. Well, I don't know. I hope for Kat.
We do have.
Yeah. Do you have anything else, young lady, you want to discuss, or?
I'm so thankful that you guys let me come on and
it's our honor. Believe me.
Story.
You know that.
I really do. You guys have always been so good to Kat. She's so lucky to and you guys just didn't have her on. Like, you continue to check in with her. You're like class act, like super class act. So I really appreciate that. And I'm
gonna text her with that in a little bit. I'm gonna text her.
And it was so nice of you guys. Honestly, both of you, I appreciate. Well, you too, but I appreciate both of you having me on. You took a chance for. I keep worrying that your ratings are going to plummet because I'm on. So my hope is that let everybody come back next week.
My ratings can't get any lower than they already are. Don't even
He's
worry about it.
lying. He's lying. He's doing well. Kenny's
Craig.
doing good.
No,
He's doing
it
good.
was awesome to talk to you. I'm really honored that you came on to
Oh, thank
and you guys had
you.
me on, always.
Yeah, sure.
for
This is these stories are great.
Are you guys coming August 1st? You guys are going to come back for
If
the boat?
I'm
if you're not
invited.
around?
You're
What are
invited.
you
You're
talking
officially
about?
invited. You're invited.
You got to
do
bring the
whatever you
whole.
wanna bring.
You got to bring the whole clan, though.
Oh God,
Yeah.
we're gonna sink the boat.
Well, you bring who you want to bring.
I'll bring the one raised by wolves.
There you go.
Nice.
We'll
That was a
have a talk with
great
them.
line. Great line.
Raised by wolves.
My old lieutenant said their ratings can only go up. All right. All right. Thank you.
Well,
We're gonna guys, we're gonna do two quick hang loose 2 seconds.
Just don't go
guys.
nowhere. I'm going to run 2 commercials and then we'll go ahead and close out the show. So, well, let's hear from our friends over at Collectors Club.
We at the Gettin Salty Experience are excited to announce the launch of the New York City Collectors Club, a brand new spin-off of the FD Collectors Club dedicated exclusively to New York City firehouses. Here's the deal. No more worrying about stopping by a firehouse when the crew's out on a run, and no more rolling the dice on questionable patches and coins off eBay. With this club, everything you receive is 100% authentic, straight from New York City firehouses. And the best part? A portion of every subscription goes directly to firefighter charities each month. Now, because you're a part of the Gettin Salty podcast community, you'll get 50% off your first month. That means you can join for just $14.99. All you have to do is use the code Gettin Salty at checkout. So if you're a collector looking for something real, meaningful, and straight from the source while giving back to New York City's best and bravest, the New York City Collectors Club is for you.
All right, we got one more short one from FRCE.
The First Responders Center for Excellence is a not-for-profit organization dedicated to protecting the lives and livelihoods of first responders. Their education and research initiatives aim to bring greater awareness and understanding to the challenges to the health, safety, and well-being of firefighters, EMS personnel, and other first responders too. They are an affiliate of the National Fallen Firefighter Foundation.
All right, we'll play that one in honor of tonight's show. We'll keep it nice and short to reference mental health and, you know, how important it is to have a nice, tight-knit family. We'll keep it at that, short and sweet.
Eileen, best of luck with the book.
Thank
I know
you.
you're already doing well. Hopefully we see you August 1st. I will definitely ask him on, we're seeing him on May 1st. So
Make a note for yourself because I'll try to remember too.
Yeah.
I don't know. It would be nice if we actually had.
That was a good idea.
Give
for me.
him. If we had something to give him, hand
You
it
know-
just like, here, take a look at this.
If you
Give
had
it
me
to
on
him.
the show when he was on, I could have, whatever.
Just like we could have had him on the boat trip
Listen,
last year.
I could kick Coobs out every week. I mean, it would work out really well.
You can't fit
Just
another
saying.
square in there.
I'm
Andy?
just
You can't
saying.
fit
I'm
another
just saying.
square?
Just
Circle
saying.
gets a square. We can do it. Come on.
I'll send you a book. Just slip it to him.
You know.
Yeah. I will say, hey, listen, take a look at this like this.
And then take a look at this. We got 2 thises for him to look at.
Slide into
All
his
right,
DM.
guys.
Yeah,
We will see you next week. Kenny, thank you for joining me for the show. It's always a pleasure, my brother. You're one
I
of the best.
appreciate you having me, man. Always appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Eileen, thank you again. Gons, love
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah, for sure.
For
Kenny, you
everybody,
gonna close out? Are you Kenny? Can you
What-
close
what do
out?
you
What are you
got?
gonna do? No,
What do you
I
got?
gotta wait for you because I'll close out the end here.
All right, listen, remember, it must be true if you heard it at the kitchen table.
Oh,
nice.
nice. I love that. That's good.
See you at
great
the
stuff.
big one, everybody.
All
Thank
right,
you
guys.
again.
Listen, Eileen, thank you again for everything. And being that Coobs isn't here, we'll say his little phrase. You guys can all stay with me. Stay low and go. I guess
Stay
not. You
low
guys are
and
too
go.
slow. And then my phrase is, listen, I don't always watch podcasts, but when I do, tell me what is it?
It's
I
a
prefer
Gettin
the Get
Salty
Salty
experience.
Experience podcast.
Podcast.
All right, guys, have a good night, everyone. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.